Hey everybody, Brad Greenfield here. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that correlates with our In the Know session, and more specifically the tip of the month. So what we're going to talk about is where to find, how to access the UT-TSU marketing resources. We're also going to talk about some of the 4-H regulations when it comes to using the clover, the 4-H clover. I'm not going to get into that too much, just give you an idea of where you can find that information and emphasize a little bit about the importance of it. And we're also going to show how to properly resize these images so that we can maintain the integrity of the constraints that were set up with these images, the legal way, if you will, of how to access these images. So you'll see right here as I start off that we are on the UT Extension Central Region page, very nicely done regional web page, I must say. So we're going to scroll down here to just a little bit, and we are going to find the link on this right hand toolbar that reads County Staff Training Resources. Okay, so there we go, we got that. We're going to click that, and this takes us to the County Staff Training Resource page. Okay, so there's all kinds of information that we can access here, from forms, tips and tricks, all kinds of stuff. So more specifically today we're going to click on the Marketing Resources tab. So now that we have this tab clicked, since we're looking for logos, we can go a couple of different ways to get there. Obviously this proper UT and TSU logo will take us there. We can also get there going the UT Marketing Resources. And I'm going to go the UT Marketing Resources because there's a few other things that I want to show you. If you wanted to get directly to the logos, you could simply click here, but we're going to click on the UT Marketing Resources so we can look and see what all is here. When we arrive here, we see all kinds of information. So not going to get into any of this today, just a good idea to know that this stuff is here. Stuff that's, from working with the media to marketing basics. So get a little bit of education, learn some stuff, how to communicate with media and things like that. So what we're looking for here is the Logo Wordmark downloads. That's what we're going to click. When we arrive here, we see the UT Extension color logo, we see the black and white logo, and then the TSU logo. And then if we scroll on down, we can get some information about placement, the UTIA logos there, and then we get down here to the indicia statements. And I want to point out a couple things on these indicia statements. There are 3 different kinds, 3 different sizes, and in order to use the right size, or to keep from spreading these out to where it'll look bad on your document, it's important that you use the right size. So the top one up here that we're using is a 5.5 by 8.5. So what that tells me is that's going to go on a folded sheet of paper. So if you were to try to make a booklet out of a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, you'd fold that in half. This statement will then go on 1/2 or 1 page, if you will, after you folded it. The centered look here is designed to go on a full sheet, so this would go on a press release or some sort of a letter or newsletter or something like that. And then we've got the trifold, which would go on a brochure that you made out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet. Again, a trifold logo there. So, but right now what we're going to focus on is downloading this image. And the difference between JPEG and GIF or .gif, they look basically the same. When we click on them, you see that UT extension looks just the same as this UT extension. The GIF files have more of a internet-friendly color to it. There's not that many colors here in the UT extension, so it really doesn't matter too much which one you use for what we're doing. But because JPEG is more commonly used in making flyers and things like that, we're going to go ahead and click that one. So I click it to open up, and we got a white page here with just the UT extension logo. So I'm going to scroll over it and right click. Okay, when I get the right click come up, I'm going to save picture as, and I'm going to save it onto my desktop. That's where I'm going to put it. Now you can save it into your pictures or create a folder or whatever you may want to do. but just remember where you put it. So it would probably make more sense for me to put it in the pictures, but I'm going to put it on the desktop. I've already got one on the desktop, so I'm going to click it to replace it. So now it's saved. Okay, so we have this UT extension logo there saved on my desktop. So now I'm going to minimize this Internet Explorer browser, and I've already got opened up here in the background a Microsoft Publisher document so that I can show you a little bit about expanding the image. And I've set my page orientation to be the landscape view instead of the portrait, because I know that that UT extension logo is a little bit wider than it is tall. So I'm going to go ahead and insert picture from desktop, and we see there is our UT extension logo. So I insert it. Okay, there we go. Now, see that we have 8 options of where we are going to resize this logo, but only 4 of them are going to be the ones that we want to use, and I'll show you why. If we click the corners of this logo, you can see that the arrow comes up and it's angled. So what that is telling us is that we can grab this logo and we can expand it from any of those 4 corners, and it's going to expand it and keep the constraints, the integrity of the constraints intact. So you go either way you want, up or down, and it's going to keep those constraints the way that they need to be. No matter what we do, how we move the mouse, whatever we may do, it's going to keep those constraints the way that they need to be. But if I was to grab it at the top or the bottom of the top here, on the direct sides, and stretch it, it does not keep it, and that looks horrible. So I'm going to hit Control Z to get it back to where it was originally. In the same way if we do it this way. If we stretch it out this way, you know, it just looks stretched. The letters don't look too bad, but the logo definitely doesn't look the way that it's supposed to. So again, I'm going to click Control Z to get it back to where we started at, and there we are. So just keep in mind, any of the logos that we're using, we need to grab them by the corners and make sure that we're keeping the integrity of the size of this logo the way that it needs to be. Okay? Now we're going to go back to our website. Just a few more things I want to show you here. We're going to go back to the Marketing Resources page, and I am going to click here on the 4-H name emblem. And this page here is going to give you a lot of it. There's some links here, and you can download the official 4-H emblems. More importantly, I want to point out this: using the 4-H name and emblem. This is a quick reference guide to allow to help you understand how to use the name and logo in your print media, on the web, whatever it may be. So, not having much of a 4-H background, I couldn't begin to get into telling you what some of the regulations are, but I do know that it is an effort to keep 4-H consistent across the nation. So if you have any questions or in doubt about anything, just visit this web page, click on it, take a look, and make sure that you're abiding by these rules. We don't want to get anybody in trouble or do anything wrong. So that should about do it for today's video. For this video on the for the In the Know segment, talking about accessing the UT extension logos and how to resize those images and where to find information about proper use of the 4-H logo.